Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of my Projectionist vlog. My name is Eve. Thank you very much for tuning in. And for tonight's episode, we're going to be talking a little bit about the 10th anniversary release of The Dark Knight Rises, which came out 10 years ago on July 20th, 2012. Technically, it came out right after July 19th, 1201, I believe. That's when they showed these shows. So yeah, 12:01 midnight show, but it was still the 20th, but like going right from 19th. So just a little bit. This movie was the first post-digital conversion film release for me. I had maybe a little over a year without handling any IMAX, and when it went digital in February of 2011, I had no idea what to expect. I didn't know what was going to happen, and I was like, there were many questions of what I was going to do, like just for work and getting hours, because as you all know, like when the industry went digital, a lot of people lost their jobs or they got downsized, and they had to compete within the the floor manager market at a movie theater, or you just quit, or you became an usher. I became a floor manager. So I had many questions, and one of them was, what's Nolan gonna do? So October of 2011 came, and the teaser trailer for Dark Knight Rises already happened. It premiered July of 2011, I think, before the very last Harry Potter movie, and everybody knew. You read about it, film with IMAX film, and they were filming throughout the whole summer, like in Pennsylvania, Los Angeles, New York, and it was a big deal. Everybody was anticipating it and all that. But my question was, what's Nolan gonna do? And also, we just went digital. Like, what's gonna happen? How are we gonna run this? There's no film. And then in October of 2011, some guy came to the theater, New Rock, and he had a very thick Midwestern accent, and he's like, "Hello, I'm so-and-so from IMAX," and I can't believe I'm doing a voice. And he's like, "I'm just here to survey your theater, you're going to be getting some future IMAX releases." I was like, "What?" And obviously the first one on the radar was Dark Knight Rises. I didn't hear of anything. And then April came by of 2012, and it was Dark Knight Rises. And the projector and all the film equipment was upstairs. And April of 2012, these team of engineers came. One of them was my old tech, who left Regal. Now he went back. And he was like, "Oh, we're going to put the projectors on a railing system where you can move the digital to the side and move the film, which was behind the digital, move it forward. And we're going to set up your audio rack where you can just switch from digital to film, but everything else would be the same. Oh, and you have to put the exhaust on." And they showed me. I was like, "Wow, that's cool." So I guess they were doing this around the country, and I guess parts of the world that, for IMAX theaters that converted to digital. And I was like, and that showed me like the enormous power Christopher Nolan has. I was like, wow, at this point in time, he's like a Spielberg level director. He's not Spielberg, he's Nolan, but he's climbed up to that elitism in Hollywood. So we knew the release was coming, and in preparation for the release, there were some issues for it, and one of them was I was the only one in the building at the time that knew how to build a print, set up the audio, and thread up, and to kind of work on the maintenance for the machine. Second issue was not much of an issue, but there was another person in the building that I worked with before we went digital. He only knew how to thread up the projector. But the main issue was I had to train somebody new, a manager, who had to run it, perfect. for that run, because I think it was going to be from July till like the beginning of September, which it ultimately did get that like window to run. And so I had to train them, and in preparation they cleared my schedule on the floor. They said, you're not going to be doing any manager shifts, you're going to be only IMAX, because you're the one, you're going to be headlining this. Everybody else that knew what I knew, they all left when we went digital. I was the only one there that ended up leading this, these post-digital IMAX film releases at New Rock. And, the tech from IMAX would come. I remember when he came, and I had to work with him, and we had to clean the projector, and, I don't remember if we had test film. I think no, we didn't have test film. I think Interstellar we had like a film print, but clean the projector, work on the audio, and it was like a couple of overnights, from like 10 p.m. till like 4 in the morning, and this was getting close to the release, and then they send the print a week before, which was the weekend before. It was the weekend after Spider-Man, the weekend before Dark Knight Rises. And they sent a whole new print, and I had to build it up. And, it was exciting, but I was nervous because my bosses weren't there. It's been a while since I built up an IMAX print, so I had to really remember everything. And I was like in charge of this event here at New Rochelle, the IMAX theater. And, I remember I was wearing, building the print, with my IMAX shirt and my hat backwards, and my, I had to wear these white gloves, and I built the print. It took me like 2 nights to do it, and I made my very first YouTube video building that print using YouTube Editor, 10 years ago. And fast forward to now, how I make my videos, I really came a long way. So I built a print, and then I had to test run it a couple of times. As you have to make sure the audio's in sync, and obviously you want to make sure that you spliced on all the correct reels in the right order. But it's mainly just to test run, tech the print, and I did it for the managers that were there, and it's funny, these managers, they hated film, they didn't want it, they wanted digital, they were against it, but when the time came to watch Dark Knight Rises on IMAX film, they were there. The hypocrisy. And also, one thing that was a bummer, but it was what it was at the time, I tried getting more money hourly, because I wasn't getting paid much, and I said, listen, can I get more money hourly for this? And they said no, straight up. They were like, no, you're gonna get plenty of overtime for this, just like that. And it's really messed up how corporations really excuse me, really they treated the little workers, and stuff. But whatever. It was what it was. I'm doing better now. So I had to headline this whole thing. So build the print, tech the print, work with the IMAX tech, train a whole new projectionist, who ended up doing a great job, by the way. And we were going to run this for almost 2 months. So I ended up having to run the midnight show, which was 12:01. This was one of the last movies to have a midnight show. I believe the last time they did midnight shows, I could be wrong, but around the time they cut off midnight shows was for Skyfall in 2012, November of 2012. And after that, they started doing early shows like 7 p.m., 8 p.m., 9 p.m. And, for many of you, everybody remembers what happened in Colorado with the shooter, at the movie theater for a midnight showing of Batman, which was very unfortunate at the time, and it still is. But why they got rid of midnight shows, I don't know why. But so I had no idea this was going on, and I was running the midnight show and screening it for a sold out, IMAX show. And then I run it, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go home, go to sleep. I had to be back at like 3 p.m. or something like that. And my GM said, he's like, did you hear what happened? I was like, no. He's like, some guy shot up a theater in Colorado during a Dark Knight Rises screening. I was like, holy shit. And he showed me the news footage of the people running out the theater. So I was kind of creeped out by it. Well, I think a lot of people were. But, I was like, damn. So it sucks. And it was very unfortunate. So I just ended up going home. I was tired. I passed out. And I continued to run this movie up until the first week of September. And the first week of September, we ended it, and we went back to digital, and we ended up showing a IMAX DMR blow-up of Raiders of the Lost Ark in 3D. And I asked it was a different tech that came for the digital projector. And I was like, why are you showing Raiders of the Lost Ark in 3D? And he's like, oh, we call them filler movies. It's like, filler movies? Like, yeah, it just fills the slot, until something else comes out. Because the next big IMAX movie was Frankenweenie, which was coming out in like a week or two. So, but, we had a good run. We didn't lose any shows. Everybody was happy. I was happy, and I was, I was happy for the person I trained to be a projectionist. I was happy for the other projectionists that remembered along with me, and I was happy with myself. I said, well, I can't believe I oversaw this. This was a big deal. And from that point on, Interstellar I took care of, as you all know, and Dunkirk, and on and on. So, but that was also a crazy time for me 10 years ago, because the week that movie came out, I was in a 2-year relationship that was unfortunately very toxic. I'm not going to get into it, but that week I just dumped my girlfriend, and I just, something really bad happened involving the job, and I just was like, I can't do this anymore. It's over. So I dumped my girlfriend at the time, and I had to run this movie for like 2 months, and I had to find a new place to live. But luckily I had my family and my friends helping me out, and it was, everything worked out fine. So, but yeah, Dark Knight Rises was a very hot movie at the time, and I know a lot of people aren't too crazy about it because it wasn't that great. I mean, I thought it was good, but I didn't think it was like super great, especially in the third act. But it was cool. You go back, you watch it. It's got some good scenes and stuff. We didn't run the prologue though. The prologue, we were digital. I think I've said this in one of my videos before. The prologue was digital attached to... No. The prologue was film attached to film prints of Mission Impossible. But if you were a digital location running Mission Impossible 4, the fourth one, if you were a digital location running the fourth Mission Impossible, you got the new trailer. So that's how they kind of did that. So, but yeah, no, we had a good run. But also, what's crazy at the time is that this was 10 years ago. There were plenty more IMAX film theaters around. So this movie had like a 200 plus IMAX theater release, because it was big. The industry just converted like their main theaters. But now 10 years later, you have like almost a handful of IMAX film sites left. There's not many. So, and I talked about this in a video I just made before this one with Nope, which is coming out in a few days. Nope was shot with IMAX, but there's no film prints for it. And everybody on Facebook and on social media, they're like, they're commenting, I see on all the posts from IMAX, and, they're like, everybody's like, where are the film prints? 70 millimeter, what's going on, So, but I looked it up again on AMC's website for that movie Nope, and it says laser. It's just, there's no film prints for it, so tough. I think it's gonna be a cool movie. Go see it anyway. But yeah, so that was my time running Dark Knight Rises. I got some cool things to show you guys. I do have 35mm film trailers. I have a teaser, Dark Knight Rises teaser. I have a lot of film trailers for Dark Knight Rises. I have this one. Some of these I haven't viewed yet. This one I viewed. It's not good condition. It's not great condition. It has like these like colored spots on it, almost as if the film was stuck together. Two more. Let me tell you something. A lot of film cinephiles that love Christopher Nolan, anything of trailers or film prints of his, they're worth something, So I'm gonna give these to my kids someday. Or maybe give it to a museum, one or the other. I don't want to sell these. I would rather preserve them. This is the only one with the label. This is the flat trailer. So, cool. And it says what movie this trailer goes on. Project X. That was that party movie. But here's what's really cool. So I mentioned earlier that I was building the print with white gloves because, when you're handling film, you don't want to get your fingerprints on the film print. I still have those gloves. So, here you go. Look at that. They're dirty too. This is all the dust and the, just everything off that print. So, I wore these gloves when I was building up Dark Knight Rises 10 years ago. I have the soundtrack for the movie. You upload this into the DTAC, the sound system, and you have to sync it up with the film. Look at that. So you can't just pop this into a CD and listen to it. Maybe you could. You'd probably need like a special software, but this is the entire audio for the whole film. So this is a DVD. Pretty cool. And you look on the back. Print number 22, Dark Knight Rises, English feature. Nice. So I have these. I cut these off the heads of each reel. And as you can see, print number 22, and the code name is Rainy Day. That's reel 1. I'm not going to go through them all, but as you can see, that's reel 1, and the last one is reel 49. So it's 49 reels. Each reel is about 3 minutes. Look at that, isn't that cool? Alright, so I have the frame count. You had to put this in to the console and like add extra frames, so like you have to set it up to to stop and all that. So here's the frame count of Dark Knight Rises. You see that? Look at that. Cool. And I got one more thing. I also have posters for the movie too, but that's like a lot to pull out. And I have some I do have IMAX film reels because they trashed the print, so I kept some, which is really cool. But I can't do anything with them. Just look at them from time to time, like, oh look, I have film reels, film frames for this movie, and I have this this card that comes with an IMAX print. Look at that. Every IMAX print comes with this card. It has the title, the version, the print number, if it's film, 15 perf, IMAX, left eye, right eye, please return the print. And it says on the bottom left, David Keeley. So I don't know if he's with IMAX anymore, but I spoke to him once on the phone. He's a guy who works with Nolan. He's in a couple of the documentaries, like the behind the scenes of like Interstellar and Dark Knight Rises. But he called the theater once when Interstellar was coming out, and he was like, "Hey, can I speak to Eve?" I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Hey, how's it going?" Very nice guy. He was like, "You know, do you know how to build an IMAX print?" I said, "Yeah." He's like, "Okay, because I can either send you a pre-built one or I can send you a whole fresh one." I said, "Send the fresh one." So I built it up, and obviously I ran that. So, all right, that's it for 10th anniversary for Dark Knight Rises. Thank you very much for watching, and please revisit that movie. So it's not a bad movie, and give it another shot. And surprisingly, it's pretty relevant to the current times that we're in, especially. I don't want to get too into it, but especially in the summer of 2020. There was a couple of YouTube videos where people took Bane's like speech outside that prison and matched it up with like news footage and all that. It was kind of eerie, but give Dark Knight Rises another shot. You know, if you didn't like it, it's a well-made movie. It's got a great score. So, all right. Well, anyway, thank you very much for watching, and please be sure to like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to see more videos just like this. Later.